Hello, everyone, and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Peacemaker. So, this episode um, starts off with us being in the alternate universe with Hardcore, Hearthcore, and Peacemaker, along with, oh my gosh, what is his name? Captain Triumph and Blue Dragon, all eating breakfast together, where a couple of kids want to take a selfie with Blue Dragon. And Court decides that she's going to take the photo because he's just horrible at it. Takes a photo of all of them together, and then they have the opening credits, and then we go back to our universe with the group figuring out how they're going to open up a portal. So they decide that they're going to do it, and they go to Adrian's house to actually do it because they feel like it's the safest place to do so. So they then go into the first off, his mother is hilarious. Um, Talks about how he never brings his friends over really, and talks about how apparently she thought that Hearthcourt was his girlfriend, but she was too slutty, and it wasn't going to work out because of that. And he is getting super embarrassed and basically kicks her out and she goes upstairs to get away. So they go into the basement, which has so much drugs and money, it is not even funny. And they're asking him all these questions about like why he has all of it and everything else. He goes, "Well, I didn't turn it into the police. There's corrupt ones. Why would I let them have all that money and blood money and everything else?" So they begin to take a lot of that money and put it into their pockets. You know, John, um, Adebayo, and Hearthcourt, all like basically try to put as much in their pockets as possible. So anyway, they open up the Beanie Baby closet, put the machine there, open it up, and the portal goes through, causes a massive blast of energy, which makes cocaine pretty much fly on all of them. But they are able to get into the dimensional or the pocket dimension to get to where they need to go. So they go inside and everything else. So back on our Earth, or their Earth, or the main universe, we have Argus trying to figure out what they're going to do. They decide he decides that he finds out that Hardcore Court, Hearthcourt, and John have all not been MIA, and nobody's been able to get a hold of Judo Master. So they then decide that they're going to figure out what they're going to do. So the idea is he's going to go to Blackgate Prison to talk to a prisoner. So we find out that that prisoner, I was very surprised by it, to be fair, is none other than Lex Luthor. And apparently, we don't know the full deal that they made, that Argus made with Lex Luthor, but he's being transferred to a prison without metahumans, and he will be giving them a device to be able to basically track the dimensional portal that is being opened, and that's all we know. That is everything we know. So they find the dimensional portal to the other universe. Adrian is apparently able to remember the code because he saw Peacemaker's dad use the code, and he's assuming it's the same. Does it? Opens up. They go in. Excuse me. They're inside. They go into Peacemaker's room. They're realizing that it's kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in there. However, um, Heath, aka Captain Triumph, comes into the room and sees Hearthcourt and is like, weren't you with Chris? And she's like, well, he dropped me off. And she says, oh, he wanted me to grab this snow globe to like put on my desk and stuff. And he's like, well, that's weird. He goes, our mother gave it to him on his deathbed. That's kind of odd. And she goes, yeah, I thought the same thing. He goes, well, I'm going to Argus. Do you want to ride? And basically, I was trying to like get her not to do it. And she's like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And he then takes her over to Argus. So then Adrian leaves to go find himself, the alternate version of himself. Um, he finds out that he is almost identical to himself. However, the only difference that they have with each other is the fact that this vigilante hates Peacemaker and everything he stands for, and has joined the Sons of Liberty to stop Peacemaker and basically defeat him. So we had Adebayo and John kind of in the house. Then they see Eagly tearing up the kitchen. They clean it up. They give Eagly food. And then she decides to, she's trying to figure out what they're going to do. He wants to just leave while they're trying to figure out what they're going to actually do. Um, so then we have um, Hearthcourt is at Argus. She gets flagged for drugs. She gets pulled aside. Peacemaker sees what's happening and goes over. He then goes into the interrogation room, explains, tries to figure out what the hell she's doing there and everything else. They get into a huge argument, and she's basically explaining to him, like, how could she ever love anybody when she's so damaged? And that she knows he loves her and everything else, and that it shouldn't matter whether she wants to reciprocate it or not, that he should want to come back. And it shouldn't matter whether or not she feels the same way he does for her. Still never really answering the question. I want to make that clear. And then we have Adebayo going for a walk while John stays in the house. And how this episode ends is kind of funny because the the hardcore Hearthcourt of the alternate universe sees the one from our universe, wants her arrested. Peacemaker is now going to try to protect her. We then find out that Blue Dragon knew that John was there and begins to fight John, which is not very much a fight whatsoever. So he basically stabs a knife into John's hand, and John spills the beans about how he's there along with other people to get his son Peacemaker out of there, who's not actually his son because he killed his real son. And that is basically how that part ends. So Adebayo is walking around, she's waving to people and everything else, and people are kind of freaking out. Turns out that they start yelling, "Oh my gosh, one of the blacks got out." And now this entire group of people start running after her. So what we find out is, and Keith is a part of the group that is chasing her down. So she's being chased, granted on foot, thankfully, by a bunch of the citizens. And we find out that it is a Nazi America. Um, and hardcore what made it clear to Peacemaker, like, don't you think it's kind of odd that I haven't seen one person of color anywhere? And he's like, oh, I never noticed. And that's when we see Adebayo getting chased down the street by everybody in the neighborhood. And that's how the episode ends. So we're going to find out what happened in that universe, although we have a pretty good idea. And we're going to find out how they're all going to come together to get out of there. Also, Argus is probably going to be getting in there as well, but we'll have to wait and see. But for now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.